Hey everybody, Jason Barlow, America's best looking realtor with Sell for 1%, here with Big Mike and the old man, big broker Dave Barlow. And our guest today is Jody Vermillion, who is a total killer with Ruoff Mortgage. We brought Jody on to talk about interest rates today. We are at historic lows. And so Jody, what are you seeing out there?
Well, I think it's a matter of fact. It's like true historic lows. So if you're going to take advantage of buying a home or refinancing your home, do it now. I mean, we're in an election year, and typically, and if you look at trends and even pull up trends, even if doing a Google search, you're going to see, even in 2016, I believe that rates jumped from, I think it was like 3.75 to 4.46, around that range in November and December of 2016. So we're kind of looking at that also. Again, I mean, we're staying low right now. We're as low as we've been. Even if you're on the fence to refinance, you probably want to look hard, at least call me to take a look at your situation to see if it makes sense. Because once you run the numbers, even buying points right now, if you're going to stay in your home for a long time, now is the time to consider that because of how low the historic rates are. So basically with points, if you paid a point to buy down a rate, let's say today's rate was 3%. And let's say you paid 1 point, which is 1% of your base loan amount, to buy down your rate by a quarter of a permanent percentage rate, which is usually the rule of thumb. That could save you a ton of money over the course of time. But you take how much it costs for that point and divide it by, how many years you're going to be there to see where your break-even point is. And if your break-even point is there, then it makes sense to buy that point and buy down that rate. So there's a lot to take into consideration now, but it is truly a historic time for low rates.
And then just to Jay, just to touch on that, Jody, I had a couple other lenders discussing this as well with clients who might not have a lot of money out of pocket for closing costs. Mm-hmm. They have the capability to build that in. Do you guys help pay that with points as well to save them money since the rates are so low?
Sure. When you're refinancing, you can finance it into your loan when you pay points. So you don't have to pay it out of pocket. Most of my refinances, no one's bringing anything to closing unless they choose to, unless they don't want to pad it on their mortgage. Even if they had an OFA loan before, which this is a big topic. Everyone thinks that they can't refinance when they've had an OFA loan. If your value is high enough, you can finance in that soft second into the loan. So let's say you have a 5.25 or a 4.875 interest rate, which 3 years ago you would have had through OFA. You can finance that soft second into the loan and still save all that money with the lower rate. So let's say you're going from 5.25 down to 3% today. And let's say you're going from FHA to conventional. Now you've just saved yourself about $300 a month. Yep. So it's a big deal. And yes, normally you can finance in all of the costs of a refinance into the loan.
And so one of the things that we're seeing on the listing side is, we have these overbids and appraisals that are coming in crazy and things like that. But to me, it's more about with the historic low interest rates that we currently have, it's more about the buyer's purchasing power, that they're able to buy more house for less money than they were even a year ago. And especially, and we were talking before we came online, I've been doing this 22 years. Interest rates were up in the 8% range, and we just kind of see them have drifted down, and they're up and down just like the stock market. But to be down around 3%, you can buy a lot more house today than you could even a year or 2 years ago. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely. And I think a key point to remember when you're purchasing a home is that you can't lock in a rate until you're actually in contract. The rate's property sensitive, and that rate's only good for a period of time. So even if you're considering buying or considering refinancing, you have to keep that in mind. So let's say you talk to your lender and they quote you a rate for that day. It's for that day. It could change in 3 hours. So, if you have it in your mind that, I want to lock in, you have to have that communication with your lender and get it locked in. But yeah, absolutely. The buying power is certainly with the lower rates. But also, if you talk to a lender who knows what they're doing as far as even mortgage insurance goes, let's say you don't have 20% to put down. And let's say you're a first-time home buyer and you're going to put 5% down. And the rate's awesome. Let's say we're at 3.125%. You can do a single premium if your credit scores are good enough and finance it into your loan so it's not out of pocket and get rid of your mortgage insurance that basically typically you can buy more of a house because we've got rid of the mortgage insurance.
Right.
So a lot of lenders don't even realize that you can do that. They don't think that you can finance it into the loan like that. So
in other words, instead of having, with PMI and your another $200 a month in PMI insurance, you can actually finance that in for over 30 years, and it drops to like maybe $4 or $5 a month then.
$4 or $5
Well,
a month.
instead of paying, the premium insurance that, until you get to your 20% equity, what you're saying is you can finance that in as part of the overall mortgage. And instead of it being $170, $180, $200 a month in extra premiums, you finance it. And then because you're financing it over 30 years, that finance number drops to like $5 or $10 a month.
Right. Impact on the monthly payment is minimal. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yep, I gotcha. Yeah, and when I say single premium, it's a one-time lump sum.
Right.
You can pay it out of pocket if you don't want to absorb it into the loan, or you can finance it into the loan. So it's a one-time lump sum to get rid of monthly. So it's a great tool. And you can even use that with OFA for down payment assistance.
That's cool.
Oh, okay.
Well, a lot of great interest, or information. I think the bottom line is that, we want people who are thinking that, well, I'll just wait until this or that. We were talking a little bit about before we got on line here, how the political election in November impacts rates. So can you touch base on that for us just for a second?
Oh, absolutely. They're going to keep the rates low right now to gain, the confidence of the economy. And you don't want to raise those rates at this time. It doesn't help us, especially during this COVID odd moment that we're experiencing. So they're going to keep those rates low. And then once the winner wins out of the election, the rates typically pop up. So it's just a natural effect that it has. And we see it time and time again over the course of, I've been doing this 21 years. So
it's not something that we're just guessing at. I mean, I've been through 5 elections since I've been in the business, and it's the same story every year.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are definite cycles. And I mean, right now, the cycle we're in is pretty unprecedented. I mean, to be after July 4th and to have it booming the way it is, it's a great time to buy or sell. And so if you're thinking of buying or selling, give us a call. If you're thinking of buying, getting pre-approved or refining, get with Jody. You can reach us at 614-451-6616 or sellfor1%.com, 614-451-6616. Jody, how can everybody reach you? Where do they go to apply?
So to apply online is www.lenderohio.com. And my email address is jody@ruoff.com, which is JODI@RUOFF.com. And you can call or text me at 614-206-1687. And I have a team here, so someone's always going to answer, but texting if anything's urgent. One last tip for me, and I know that all you guys are an awesome team and familiar with this product, but I know it's very challenging out there trying to find a home to buy right now. And even if you find something that you like a lot, but you'd like to change this or that, keep in mind that you can qualify for a rehab loan and make it how you want it. So, I'm very experienced. I was in the market when we had all the foreclosures before, so I'm proficient with rehab loans. So if it's just change the master bath and kitchen just to make it how you want it to, for your lifestyle, we can make those changes. And I know that all of you are familiar with that product as well.
Yep, those are my favorites. So, and seriously, now is a great time to do that with the rates being as low as they are. So, that's some good advice, Jody. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it, Jody.
Take care.